I wondered if you could tell me briefly about your past history in sourcing venture capital.
I looked for money in 2006 to start up my company CVWarehouse, and I raised 1 million euros in 2007.
Right.
And I bought back my shares in 2008.
Wow.
So that's
Good
my,
work.
and I'm preparing for a next round of VCs in 2011.
Very good. And did you source that in Europe, obviously, if it was
Yes.
euros? Was that within your own country? Is that Belgium?
Yes, I have
Yep.
contacts with VCs within Europe, but I raised money in Belgium.
Fantastic. Great. What personal lessons, being a woman, have you taken out of your successes and or failures as regards venture sourcing?
Well, I can, of course, only speak about Europe, but it surprises me a little that women are looked at differently in this case. I think I got some very strange questions, but I also think I got a huge visibility as I was the only woman in a lot
Right.
of pitches.
So it had its advantages and disadvantages.
Exactly.
Okay. And you were successful, which says a lot for you. What attitudes then towards you being female have you noted from venture capitalists when you've been sourcing venture?
Well, they asked much more questions about my private life, my kids, things, how I was going to solve things, and they were a little afraid I would spend too much time on my family, I guess.
Dreadful, isn't it?
Well,
It is what it is.
what can I say? I mean, but
Yes.
it's not only VCs who ask that question. It's more in general that I'm confronted with these type of questions as a female entrepreneur.
Interesting. But they wouldn't ask men those questions, would they?
Well, not at all, I guess. Oh, no. They wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, exactly. What qualities do you think women entrepreneurs need specifically for sourcing venture?
Well, I've been thinking about that question just before the call, and I think we have to act like men. I mean, we need to be proud. We need to be very self-confident. We need to have excellent communication and presentation skills. We need to say that we are better. We don't need to be emotional. So
Right.
just go to the point, show facts and figures, and move further.
So copy what the boys do and make sure that we've got all our bases covered is what you'd suggest, yeah?
Well, do better than the boys do because we have
Okay.
a female disadvantage.
Okay, thank you. That's a salient point. Do you think then that the challenges that women entrepreneurs and startups have historically faced mean that we will always be underrepresented sourcing venture?
I think a lot of women will always be underrepresented in any business context.
Okay.
Not only, but of course also sourcing, but already in companies, in boards, in setting up companies, in positions in companies.
Okay. No problems. So have you noticed any changes, particularly, in the last couple of years since you did your first round, in attitudes from the venture community or the angel community towards women in Belgium?
Well, the period we're talking about is, of course, the hype of 2007, and then I am in the e-recruitment sector. I'm in Europe, so we got a major crisis 2008, 2009. So all
Worst years, yeah.
Yes, everything closed from a money point of view, and I guess it's not only towards the women. So
Yes, exactly.
yeah, it's something that I noticed is that the venture capital world, in my eyes, is very macho, is very male, white male.
Okay.
But I guess they're macho towards other male entrepreneurs as well. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, no problems. You're a non-technical co-founder, is that correct? Or
Yes,
a non-technical founder?
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you believe that it's easier for technical women founders to achieve venture funding than non-technical in Europe? And if so, what are your reasons for this?
I don't think it's easier for them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think that what I did when I was looking for venture is I really started doing competitions and contests on presentations and pitching, because I realized after my first presentation towards venture capitalists that the 90% of me raising money would depend on my presentation skills.
Very good. Okay, so that's a real key point.
And I did a contest and I won a prize in elevator pitching amongst 500 business plans and people pitching all over Europe. And I really did it in order to raise money. I think the more technical people are, the harder they find it to explain in human words what they exactly do and what they're looking for. So
yes,
I think being extrovert, having excellent presentation skills rewards much more in finding money, because in the end, they invest in a person or a team of people and not so much in a company or in the technical part of a company.
Wow, that's a really good point. Thank you. Could you list some of the advantages of gender diversity in a startup, and are there any disadvantages?
I think the balance would be the best.
Yes.
Not too many women for obvious reasons, not too many men for obvious reasons.
Yes.
A good balance. I think women are much more long-term. I also think that's why we have so much difficulties with venture capitalists, because venture capitalists from the business plan are short-term anyway.
Right.
So men are in the middle.
Okay.
Women are very much in depth, very long-term strategy, keeping an eye on the customers, the company, the employees, you know. So I think having women is an advantage for the long-term strategy. Having men is an advantage for the short-term strategy, because you need both. Okay,
fantastic. So what you're saying, the balance really is the best, the most optimum situation in any startup.
Well, the ideal situation is to have the best people. Unfortunately, in a startup, you're happy with the people who want to go with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's great. Okay, look, thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate it, and I wish you all the best for your next round.
Thank you.